I'm gonna make you an old fashioned you can't refuse. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. A few weeks ago, I was blessed to attend my goddaughter's wedding. It was a beautiful event and we had a great time. She gave me this special glass and I immediately knew I had to make an old fashioned for her. Lots of truth in this glass, isn't there?
You can't handle the truth!
Since she is my goddaughter and she always called me Godfather, what better way to celebrate than make a drink called the Godfather? Cocktail quiz time. Originally, Paramount did not want Marlon Brando for the role of Vito Corleone. So who did they want to play the role? I'll give you an answer you can't refuse. While doing my research, I did find a Godfather cocktail, which is a bourbon or scotch with amaretto. Now, this was a great base for an old fashioned because you already have the spirit and the sugar. I did decide to make a homemade amaretto and I will leave a recipe for it below. I wanted this drink to be full of flavor. Also, my buddy Rob from Rob's Home Bar just made a homemade version recently, right after I made mine. So I will also leave a link to his recipe below. We already had the spirit, we already had the sugar. The next question was, how do we add a bitters? With it being the Godfather, I wanted to keep an Italian Godfather theme. So I decided to use Campari as my Italian bitters. Now, my buddy Vino from Coach Vino Progress Bar verified that I could use Campari as a bitters. He is a lot more of an expert than I am, so I feel confident that this will work.
It has to work.
The classic choice for the original Godfather was a blended scotch, so this is what I will use. Now, I don't have a bunch of scotch laying around. I'm not a big scotch drinker yet. I am trying to expand my palate and learn more about scotch, but right now my options are limited. I tried to look up if there was an Italian whiskey. I did find one that is called Puni, but it's not available in my area, but I may have to go revisit this and try an all Italian version one day. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a good idea. When looking at what I had available, I had to laugh. Online, they said that 9 out of 10 scotches are blended, but what I brought back with me from my trip to Scotland was all single malt. Yes, I have about 10 single malt whiskeys and that's it. Nothing really blended that I brought back with me. I was really hoping to use one of those, but there was no blended to be found. I was limited to a few that I do have on hand, which is the famous Grew Scotch, and I do also carry a few Johnny Walkers. I did find a John Walker and Sons Celebratory blend. Since this is the celebration of the union of marriage, I figured this would be the perfect blended Scotch whiskey for this. So, do you have a favorite Scotch whiskey or would you prefer to use bourbon in this recipe? Let me know in the comments below. As you know, I'm getting closer to 1,000 subs. And when I do, I'll be doing a giveaway. When I hit 1,000 subs, I'll be giving away not one, not 2, but 3 E.H. Taylors. That's right, one lucky winner will win all 3 of these. So make sure to subscribe so you have a chance to win. Make sure to also hit that like button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Let's start making the Godfather Old Fashioned. Godfather Old Fashioned ingredients: 2 ounces Johnny Walker Celebratory blend, ½ an ounce amaretto, splash of Campari, Luxardo cherries for garnish. Let's start making the Godfather Old Fashioned. In a mixing glass with some ice, we're gonna be adding 2 ounces of this scotch, the 1/4 ounce of this homemade amaretto. I will leave a description on how to make this one in the description below, but I'll also leave a link for Rob's as well. So just a 1/4 ounce of this. We're also gonna add a splash of this Campari. It would probably be better put it in one of those jars so you can do a proper splash. I didn't do that. I didn't prepare well enough for this, so I'm just gonna give a little splash on top. And that's all I'm gonna add into it. Now we're gonna stir until chilled. You can honestly smell the scotch as you're stirring. So we're gonna strain into this glass, this very special glass. It does already have a large ice in it. Thank you, goddaughter, for getting this for me. It means a lot to me. Thank you. And last but not least, we are gonna garnish with Luxardo cherries. These are also made in Italy, so we're keeping with that Italian theme. And there you have it, the Godfather Old Fashioned. Cocktail quiz time. Originally, Paramount didn't want Marlon Brando for the role of Vito Corleone. So who did they want to play the role? Coppola initially mentioned Marlon Brando as the possibility for Vito. The studio pushed the director cast Laurence Olivier before eventually agreeing to pursue Brando after seeing the actor's screen test. It is now time to taste the GodFather Old Fashioned. I am pretty excited about this one. Very special to me. I do want to thank my goddaughter Vanessa again for such a sweet gift. I also want to wish her and her husband Jesse many years of happiness and blessings as they start their journey together. Love you both. This is a very scotch forward old fashioned. As I said, I don't drink a lot of scotch, but I'm trying to open my palate and enjoy more of the whiskey that's out there in this world. And scotch is not a bad place to start. I'm not crazy about stuff that are very peaty, which has that very smoky feel. This is not one of those.
This is not that.
This is actually very good. There's a lot of flavor to it, so you have that scotch flavor. It's still in my mouth even as we're talking now. It's a very scotch forward old fashioned. And if you like scotch, you're gonna love this one. And I really suggest you try it. So I'm gonna go in for a second taste. The amaretto or the Campari don't overpower this drink. It lets this shine in this, and that's what I was trying to do. Make sure that this was what shines and stands out in this drink, and I did a very good job at that.
Way to go.
Now, if you wanted something a little bit more bitter or something a little bit more sweeter, add more amaretto, add more of the Campari. If you want to just taste something that's very scotch forward, then do it this way. This is perfect like this. Thank you again for joining me down another journey down my old fashioned rabbit hole. Cheers, my friends, and until our next journey.